My name is Dave Decay, and I'm here tonight to review a horror film that was just on Svengoolie last week. Basically, what Svengoolie's job is to host Saturday night horror films. And what my job is to review these horror films after the amazing Svengoolie reviews them. So last week on his show was Brides of Dracula. It stars the amazing Peter Cushing as Van Helsing and David Peel as the Baron Munchausen. Munchausen? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Now, Peter Cushing was in a lot of old horror films, mostly the Hammer film productions, and he is a great actor, especially when it comes to horror films. He's the best. Even though the title says The Brides of Dracula, Dracula's not even in this movie. He gets mentioned in the beginning that he's dead. That's the only mention of Dracula. Apparently, Mr. Dracula left a few disciples behind. One of them is this guy named Baron Munchausen. Munchausen? It doesn't matter. This movie begins where a woman is dropped off at this bar, and she is looking to get to a school to become a school teacher, but yet the guy just drops her off at this bar. So while she's at the bar, this other woman shows up and basically invites her to her big mansion, saying, "Hey, I'm lonely up in this big mansion. Why don't you come up there and keep me company?" So she agrees, and they both go up to this big mansion alone. You with me so far? So after the school teacher is up in the mansion for a little while, she finds out there's a guy in the mansion as well, and he's been kept there captive for a very long time. The guy basically lies to her and tells her that his mother is crazy and keeping him locked up there, as mothers often do to their children. So without giving any more spoilers away, the school teacher ends up letting the guy go, and the guy is a vampire. And as vampires often do, they go out and find the hottest women in the village and suck on them, if you know what I mean. So this movie actually did kind of have a few really good surprises. Mostly anything with Peter Cushing in it is a really good film to start with. But the story here isn't a rehash of the old Dracula story like so many other people like to do. It's actually a pretty good story going on here. This young, handsome guy who's been locked up in his castle, who finally gets out and starts sucking on some of the locals, well, he wants a bride. And even though this movie's called The Brides of Dracula, there's really kind of only one bride here, because he wants the school teacher as his bride. However, on the way there, he also gets a lot of girlfriends, if you know what I mean. So there's some really cool scenes in this film, especially coming from Peter Cushing. I really liked his portrayal of Van Helsing in this film. And towards the end of this film, again, no spoilers here, there's a really cool scene that happens between him and another vampire, which I've never seen before in a vampire film. And I really enjoyed that. And it was really quite nice to see something original for once. So in Brides of Dracula, you're going to get the real deal. These are real vampires, there are real coffins, and there are real biting sequences here. With some solid acting and a really good story, Brides of Dracula turns out to be a really good horror flick. So on my scale of 1 to 5, I would give Brides of Dracula a 4 out of 5. If you like Peter Cushing, and if you like vampires, and if you like multiple brides, if you know what I mean, give this movie a chance. I think you'll really enjoy it. So until next week, remember, always curl up to your favorite tombstone and leave the coffin open for me.